Hi, so today we're going to make the beach grass, right? So little serene scene. This is just a little oopsie, don't look at that. So we're gonna paint the whole thing one piece at a time. So I'm gonna paint the sky, then reverse, the sand, because our paintbrush will be clean to make the sand. So sand, sky, water, grass. Okay, so we'll just do it step by step. So you look at the whole thing and you're like, oh, that looks really hard. But if we just paint one section at a time, it'll just appear, right? It'll just be like magic. So here's what it looks like. And it's the sky, the sand. Of course, we're not going to worry about it being a straight line right there. And then this is the grass area. And then this little weird thing, that's this, right? Where it's like a little hill of grass and then there's a baby hill. But they're very flat looking, right? So then when you see this, you're like, oh yeah, that's a hill. And then there's a baby hill. And then these stripes right here are just trying to say, remember, the shadow from the grass is diagonal and points to the corner. Okay? So we're going to paint the sand first. So we have two paintbrushes, this big paintbrush and a medium round paintbrush. If it's brand new, you just take the thing off and rough it up a little. It's a little stiff, brand new. So we're going to need our white paint first. And this is such a weird concept, but we're going to paint it in two sections. There's the top section of the grass and then the bottom section of the grass. I'll show you. So the top section of the grass is what's behind the sand. The top section of the sand is behind the grass, and the front section of the sand is in front of the grass. And they're just two pieces. And we just scribble right here where the two are going to meet to make sure they blend together right there. So we're gonna get it sopping wet with white, then add a little bit of sand color. So we're gonna need our white, and we're gonna need this little caramely color, right? It's like a light brown, I like caramel color. So we're gonna get the whole back of the sand, and then remember, we do not care about this line right here. That's the pencil line for where the sand meets the water. We're going to put a few little bumps for waves. So we can paint over that. It's just telling you, like, don't go, crazy. This is where the sand and the water are going to meet. So I'm going to just get a whole bunch of white. Just stab my white. It's like a lot, right? And then I just go underneath the pencil line and I'm going to get it sopping wet with white above this little thing, that little part that separates the two hills of grass. Well, that will sop on the paint. And remember, you can pause because I'm not following along with the class. It's just you and me on the video. So if I'm going too fast, you push pause. If I'm boring, you push fast forward, right? If you understand this part, you skip, right? So you're in control. But I want it all sloppy wet with white. So it's like even a little bit lumpy, but I don't care of where it's thick with white. I don't have to go back and smooth it. Those thick white pieces will be brighter sand, like more white. And then where there's, if it's too smooth, then it will evaporate too fast, right? So, and then to tell that I painted those, see, look, it's dry right there. Wherever it's not shiny is too dry. Let me get that on there. Look, there, a little dry spot. So now I'm going to get sand color, but I'm just going to get a poke. I don't need to like we did the white. Let's go poke. Just some, right? And I only get one poke. I don't go back and get more, or all the sand turns brown. We don't want that. So I'm just going to drop it off randomly, but I don't go in a straight line, because when I smooth it in, it'll just be a straight line. I try to be all random about it. So I just go pokey, 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 and then wherever I land first, like that will be the darkest, because I landed there first. And wherever I landed last will just be lighter. Now you do it. Okay, now we're going to make sand. So the trick is to just go push up, and let the natural stripes of white and sand color to happen. I like the variation of color. Woo, there's a shadow, right? It's not, if I keep mixing it together and keep doing this, it just becomes a color, and it's not as interesting to look at. A little variation of color is more interesting. So we like do them in rows. I start at the top and I just go push and shove. Oh, what? It's like instantaneous little cool stripes. Push and shove, push and shove, push and shove. And I turn those dots into strings, and I give them permission to be a variation of color. And remember, I don't care about the top because the water's gonna go there. Yay, did that. I just went back and cleared a little lump. Look at it. Now that I look at it, look how it looks like a dark, what? See, my dots became stripes anyway. I'm going to ruin just some of it so it's not an obvious stripe, because that's going to darken when it dries. So I'm just going to go la la la, la la. Okay, there. Now go back and go back, because the ground is always straight and flat, so you always make straight, flat lines. There, let's see if that helped. Right, just, I can have now I broke up that deep line that was across the top. Somehow that happened. I must have hit a really thick bulb and went straight across. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom of it. Whoop, whoop. And it doesn't matter that I have some sand color in it, because I'm going to add sand color next. So I just stab my white. And I just go, okay, the two sands are connected. So I just go, whoop, get sopping wet underneath that. And they can touch. They're both sand, right? And then maybe, because I put so much back here, that'll be like deeper and darker behind the grass. So how about if I just put less in the front, the foreground sand? So I'm just going to get, last time I went poke, maybe I just go teensy little speck this time. So I just go speck. I think it's the same, but I tried to be smaller. And then I just go, now I'll drop it off softer. Yay! And you can already guess what's going to happen if we make sand out of it, right? But I still want to remember where that pencil line was, because one is a hill and then the other is the baby hill. So, and the two worlds of sand can touch. It's the same paint color. But I just go whoosh, whoosh. And I'm going to try to turn those dots into stripes and give them permission to be variations of color. Awesome. And I can still sort of see my pencil, because all of it gets covered up in the grass. Okay. Now there was the chateau. They're all going this way. Look how I left this sand alone, but I just pushed down, and then I went across this way with the shadow. But then I went down towards this corner, trying to make this shadow. So I'm going to rest this paintbrush for a second and find that bluish gray color that you have. And then find the tiny paintbrush. And I'm just gonna get a poke. Right, and just go poke like that. And I'm just going to go and drop it off along the underneath of the grass. Ugh. And then yank on it a little bit. And they're all putting little stripes. But they're all heading towards this corner, remember? So I just go there. Maybe there. That was that little bump. So let's compare it to the original. Oh, so I'm going to smear it in a little bit. And then pull this down, but leave that sand alone in the corner. So I go back to my sand paintbrush because that looks silly. And I don't want it to disappear. I like exactly where the color is, but the texture is not right? So I just try to make it a little bit sandy. So I'm just going to ride the roller coaster first. Just, right. And then this one goes in front. we're going to paint on top of this and put sand coming out of this, right? And then I kind of yank these and just try to soften them a little. I don't want to disappear them. I'm just trying to scratch it. I just ever so softly scratch down in the corner, and I give them permission to be a variation. And then I stop. Variation of color. There's the sun's coming, and then what if I have a dark one, a light one, a medium one? Totally fine. There, but then that one stays side to side, and this one's going into the corner. Now I have sand color in my paintbrush, and I don't want that in there. So let me get that. I'm just going to get my paper towel and just squeeze the paint out, and just enough of the sand color will come out, because we're going to do the sky. Okay, now sky. So I'm going to paint the whole, just like the sand, paint the whole sky white, and then add dots of blue, and then try to make streaks of white and blue. And I give it permission to have some areas that are dark, some areas that are pure white. The pure white, thick white parts, we can add those even, because sometimes it just turns baby blue on you. But we want those variations of color because it's more interesting to look at. So I'm going to stab my white, stab, and paint everything above that pencil line wet with white. But I don't care, I just put a whole bunch of it. Stab the white. Stab. There, super thick with white. It's even lumpy, and I don't care, because it's going to make a variation of color. Now find your dark blue, and mixing with white she'll be baby blue pieces. But I'm rooting for 3D. So for 3D, I need 3 versions of a color: dark, medium, light. So even in my sand, I have dark areas, medium areas, and white areas. 3D. So I'm going to root for the same thing for this. So I'm just going to poke. I don't stab it, because it'll just turn dark blue. I just want some. So I just go poke. I could add more, but I couldn't take any off, right? So I go poke. And I'm just going to drop it off. But remember what happened last time? I ended up making a straight line when I did the sand anyway. So now I'm going to try to be more random. So maybe I'll put dashes. That'll be better. So dash, 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 dash. But I'm trying to be random so they don't end up in a straight line like what happened in my sand. But look who's going to be the darkest, where I landed first. But I don't scrub it together like this. I'm going to go just like the sand. Maybe even off the page to off the page. And then in little rows that overlap each other. And then pause, look at it, and then decide what I want to do next. Just to get an idea of it. And I don't have to push hard. I just try to turn those dashes into streaks. So I start at the top and I go off the page. And then back, and each one touches the last one, and it's almost like if I hit blue, I don't even care, it's none of my business. Neat. But it's a little perfect, huh? We'll go back and we'll ruin it. There, variations of color. Oh, I got a hair. If you get a hair from your paintbrush, you just go underneath the hair like this and go flick. And pick it up with the bristles from your paintbrush. Then it gets smooth. They're brand new, so they come apart a little bit. Okay, now I would like to put some clouds, so I'm just going to stab my white. Oh, got a glob. And I'm just going to put it like 2 dashes, right? But like, so I'm just going to go push and shove and try to make, the clouds are flat and skinny because the wind is pulling them, right? So both ends are pointy. They're thick and they're pointy. So if I go to the right, slap, and to the left, slap, the end should be pointy. So I just go push, 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 push. But I have to be delicate because I need white to live. If I do it too hard, it'll just become baby blue. And then this will darken as it dries. You think, I wanted mine dark like the original painting. Well, let me tell you, this is darkening already, right? But white paint is actually a white gel that the white powder floats in. So it starts off very, very white, but when it dries, it darkens as the white gel it floats in turns clear like Elmer's glue. Like when you order paint at the paint store and it's white, that's gonna turn clear. It just spreads the color around for you. Okay, now we're gonna make the ocean, and we can clean our paintbrush, and we don't have to clean it good because blue and white making ocean, right? So we just give it a little pinch and get the extra white out. And there's still some in there. So we're gonna get our dark blue, and you'll see that it goes dark blue, green, then turquoise. Well, dark blue, green, and white is turquoise. But I don't really like, I wish I blended better where the two colors meet so it doesn't look like such a flag, you know? Wish I blended a little bit more. So we'll do it this time. So it's about 2 fingers of dark blue, 2 fingers of green, and 2 fingers of turquoise, which is white, with a dirty paintbrush from these two guys. So and you won't be able to make a straight line for your horizon line where the sky meets the ocean at first. So you just put the blue paint on, and then you're just gonna straighten the line after it's wet with dark blue paint. Trying to do both is your brain gets really mad. So you just stab your blue paint, and we're just gonna, and it's not enough to make it all the way across. It makes it about halfway, and then you need more paint. So I'm just gonna put the blue on there, knowing I go, see? But there's some on the other side of my paintbrush flip, but still not enough to make it. So I get more blue, stab, maybe pull the other way. Now that it's wet with blue, now I can attempt to try to straighten it. Right, so first you have to put the blue paint on there so you can mess with it, right? So now I can go back and go, all right, we push, and so when you're making the line, you're not staring at the whole paintbrush, nobody cares. You just stare at the top hair on the top of the paintbrush, and when you push, it's gonna squish the paint above the paintbrush and help you make a straight line. And a thick amount of paint is easier to smooth and straighten than dry amount of paint. Dry amount of paint, you keep trying to straighten it, or you keep scrubbing the paint like this, trying to get paint out of your paintbrush. But we're just like a bulldozer, and we just push. There. But that's only like 1 finger. Let's put another bit of blue below it. So I just stab my blue. But now I could be side to side like it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to make a straight line. Off the page, off the page, off the page, off the page. Not because it's water, right? And it's smooth out there. Now you do it. Remember, if I go too fast, pause. Oh, I have a hint. Cover your device with saran wrap. Just push pause. Because you're going to have to keep touching the paint, the device to pause me, and you might get paint on it. Done it to my tablet. Okay, now I'm going to get dark green. Where is she? Not light green, this super dark green, right? She's called Potential Green, and she's going to make the turquoise. So I'm going to put a row of turquoise or green on there, 2 fingers, but they're going to overlap. I'm going to put the first green on my blue, and then the next row underneath it. So I just stab my dark green. Woo! And I don't care. It's going to mix. I'm going to make greenish blue because they're touching. But I still look like a flag, but I don't care. I'm not blending yet. I'm going to do that next. Stab some more. It's a little dry. There. And how big? 2 fingers. Okay, 3 fingers. Right? Now let's sneak this green ever so gently onto my blue, just a little bit. But I'm going to start on the bottom and do 1 row, and then climb and overlap that row, and then overlap that row, and that row, and that row, until I get to the sky. And just what's left on my paintbrush. Don't add more. So I start on the bottom, and I go off the page to off the page. Then I go a row higher. Okay, I'm still in the green. Now I'm going to enter blue. Just what's left of my paintbrush. I put the green and the blue, and the blue and the green, and the green and the blue. And then I get to the top, I'm out of green. I know. And then pause. See, I disappeared the transition. You can't see the line as much anymore. Good job. Okay, now we're going to get white. Dirty paintbrush and all. We just stab our white, stab. Because what's in my paintbrush? The perfect green and blue blend to blend with this white to make turquoise. And I'm just going to drop it off on the bottom of my green. Right on top of the bottom of the green. So it will make a more greeny. Oh, it only went halfway. More white, stab. There. Okay. Neat. Look at the turquoise it made. What? Now you do it. And now I want to do that sneaky thing again. Because look at, I got a perfect line where two colors meet. So I want to do that same sneaky uppy thing and try to run out of this beautiful turquoise, climbing higher, 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 but never enter the sky, right? So I go off the page to off the page, then a row higher, off the page to off the page, then a row higher, off the page to off the page, then a row higher. I'm totally running out of turquoise, don't even care. I'm not going to stop. Oh, I'm really close to the sky and done. Nice. Now look how I got white stripes. I know. But now when we put this next set of turquoise on there, right? We dirtied up our paintbrush with blue and green again so we can add more white into it. But we'll be more generous, and we don't want it perfectly straight, right? Where it's just perfectly flat where the ocean meets the sand. But it's also not big bumps. They're just slightly into the sand and slightly higher. It's just by 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. That's it. You don't go like this. It's just like 1 centimeter higher, 1 centimeter lower. That's it. So now I stab my white. I'm going to do a row underneath this one because I got to make turquoise. What? Let's make a little wave out of that, like slightly higher, slightly lower. Oh, I barely, what? That's it. You think that's a wave? It is, because it's a calm ocean. Do not go higher than 1 centimeter higher, 1 centimeter lower, 1 centimeter higher. It's a speck. And look at, I have a string of white. You're jealous. And I'm not going to blend that in as a wave. And then I get more white. Step. Now what if I end up on my sand? It's wet sand. Will hurt nothing. But I am going to go like, I'm going to smush it in there with the white on my sand. And I might pick up sand color. Don't care. And then I just go slightly higher, slightly lower, slightly higher, slightly lower, barely, like that. And I give him permission to do that. This was by a little bit. By one hair higher, 1 hair lower. That's it. Just the smallest adjustment ever, right? Oh, clouds covered the sun. I'm gonna turn my my light on. I had good light coming in the window, and then it just darkened. Whatever. Okay, now I don't need this paintbrush to make my wave. I'm going to get my itty bitty baby paintbrush. And she's got this baby blue on there, so I'm just going to get a paper towel and just give it a little pinch. Get the extra out. And now we're going to make the wave. Okay, so the way you make the wave is we just follow that one microscopic higher, 1 microscopic lower, 1 microscopic higher, but it's pretty flat. It's pretty flat. And I just went up by 1 hair and down by 1 hair. And then we're just going to put globs of paint, and wherever the paint is thickest, that'll be the brightest. Wherever the paint is the thinnest, it will be the darkest. And I give it permission to have thick parts and thin parts. Right, there's splashes. And we just put little pearls of paint on there. Then with our finger, we just go and try to ruin the pattern like that. But you have to watch out for going poke, 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 poke. Evenly spaced apart dots. It's because we know how to write our letters and numbers evenly spaced apart. Your brain's not going to let you stop doing that. So you just kind of go, big, little, big, little, small, little, big, little, small, little, big, little, small, little, big, small, little, big. Like that, right? Just to be a little more spastic. So it's not like perfect finger circles. And I'm just using the very tip of my pen. I'm just finger and just trying to ruin the tip of the splash. So I stab my white. What? We're just going to drop off pearls, and look where I'm going to put it. Where the turquoise meets the green. Right there, I just go, oh. And then it goes, remember that high, low, high thing we did? I just follow it, and then I just drop off the paint. And then as I run out of paint, it must be where it's thin. And then I get more paint. And I was like, poke it. And then now I'm going to land again, and it's going to be a lot of paint because I just picked up the paint. Well, that must be a big splash. And then I run out, and I'm just following, and then it goes down. I'm just following it. It told me to do that. And then I go up a little. But look, I'm going up and down by one hair. And then I have to get more paint again. Stab! So this is going to be super thick right here. I'm super thick. And then I run out. I start to run out, and I'm doing the tiniest, and sometimes they don't even touch. But remember, I'm going to ruin it with my finger. Oops, you can't see. There. Now you do it. It looks good, right? Because we gave it permission to be thick and thin and thin and thick. And by having different variations of size and shape, like nature does, our brain believes it. Now I'm going to use my finger. I just want to ruin it as soft as humanly possible. Just kind of mush it in a little bit. Oh, I'm kind of going. Here's the white I put. I'm kind of just touching the bottom of it because I like the white top. So maybe I'll just ruin the bottom a little bit. Maybe it will mix with the turquoise. So I'm just touching it from underneath. I'm like sneaking up to it. Ooh. Oh, my finger's dragging. Don't even care. I still have white tops, but I kind of ruined the bottom a little bit. And I paint on my finger. No, paper towel. So can we do the same thing too, where the right on top of where the water meets the sand? Remember, you could push pause. I probably went too fast because I already know how to do this. And usually I watch the class and just stop when they stop. Put your, not here. So I get my white paint stab. So it's super thick, right there where the water meets the sand. And then I give it permission to run out of sand, run out of splash. No more white. Then I get another big scoop, super thick, and then it runs out. And then I need more step. Super thick. Whoa. Now I'm just going to ruin the bottom of it. Ooh, my finger's kind of dragging. Don't even care. Dragging means I feel like I'm making little dashes. Whatever. Woo. Coolio. Looks good already, huh? I bet you didn't know you could make this. Look what a good job you did. Good job. Now we're going to make grass. So push pause if you need to. And I just clean my paintbrush. So the grass colors are this dark brown. She looks black, but she's not. This bright green color, caramel, and sometimes white. I don't love the white, so maybe I'll just put one or two of them, right? And the trick is variation of size and shape. No matchy and no perfectly straighty, right? Because it's grass. So they're not born on the same day. And watch out for evenly spaced apart like letters and numbers. Nature never does that. So this one is like 3 fingers away. And then 2 fingers, 1 finger, 3, then 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, and they're falling because of wind. And then even on these baby ones, long, short, medium, medium, long, short, short, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and microscopic. But how many color values do I need for 3D? Dark, medium, light. So dark will be my dark, dark brown shadow. Then bright green, not that dark green. She dries almost black too. Then the bright green and the caramel color. Okay, so let me show you how to make grass. Okay, so the trick is, you're not going to hold it like a pencil. If you hold it like your pencil, I'll use this dark green paint to demonstrate, but if I hold it like a pencil straight ahead, I go smash, and it's the same thickness the whole time, because you, right? And you can't help but push hard. When you hold it like a pencil, you have too many years of training. So the only way to overcome that is to say, no brain, this is not a pencil. So you hold your paintbrush upside down and pull on it like your elbows on an elevator, right? And I just whoop, and I'm pulling on it using the side of the paintbrush, and then I just let go. And basically, because the painting is in front of me, as I go up, I naturally pull away. It's just a thing, and it'll get skinnier and smaller as you go up. So I'll show you. So I get the green paint, and let's just say that's the ground. So I land on the part that's the ground, and I give it permission to land. Upside down paintbrush, pull, and then it gets softer and softer and softer and softer and softer. And my hand naturally pulls away. But do we want any grass that's straight? No. So I'm going to maybe twist my paintbrush in my fingers to make it a little uglier, not straight. So I just pull and go, whoa, look, she bent. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, maybe not like that. Maybe just let it bend. Land, better. No twisty, twisty. That was bad idea. Okay, it came out like a weird S. So F, right? We never get mad. We just do better. So let's try. I got the dark green on my paintbrush, so I'm going to clean it off. Let's put the dark pieces on first. Practice with the dark pieces, and this is why the dark shadow's always inside, right? So if I put, I'm going to try one, and she's dark, but are we going to let her stay dark? No, we're going to streak some green right on top of her. Not crush it in, but like wipe off some green floating on top of the brown. But I try to be like some of them are dark brown and some of them are not. Some of them are just green by themselves. So both is nice. And then what if you just make, and then when you come back over with the green, you make it taller. So the brown can be at the base and just help shadow it a little bit. So let's try. So you're going to make some ugly ones. So let's make some short ones that we can end up covering up just to practice. So let's get our darkest dark brown. She's called Raw Umber. She dries almost black. And just give it a stab. How can we stab it? Because we have far to go. And then here's the first time we're practicing the hold our paintbrush upside down, pull, and use our pull with our elbow, like our arms on an elevator. Right? And remember how there's a big bump and then a baby bump in front? Let's put one on the baby bump, off center, not in the middle. And then see if we can't get her to bend a little. And let's lean our grass over to this direction, right? To the, is that the right? To the right. So I hold my paintbrush upside down, and I just kind of like, when I get to green, the dark green part, not turquoise, it's about as tall as I want it. So I just land on the shadow. I already told myself where that pencil line is with the blue shadow. So I land in the shadow, upside down paintbrush. Ooh, oh, and let go, let go, let go, let go, and stop. It just ran out of brown paint. Right? It went that way. It leaned because of a breeze. Then I can get a stab of the raw umber. And then maybe three fingers away and taller. So do it softer. Don't look how hard I landed right there. Glob. Right? Maybe don't land as hard. You'll have more paint. It all came off. So I about 3 fingers away. Do I want it to lean exactly or lean a little harder? Break it up a little. Lean a little more right. So I just go, okay. Look how far I went. Oh, this one went all the way up into the sky. What? Maybe I could try. The other side of my paintbrush has a little bit of paint on it, so I'll turn it over and, oh my God, I have to land and pull. Oh my God, that was scary. Because I could have landed too hard. Right? Then I'm going to do it again. I go, okay, more umber and maybe 2 fingers away, but she's going to be a little more straight-ish, right? Still leaning, but not that far. So about 2 fingers away, a softer landing so I don't end up with such a big glob when I land. Softer. And try to make it to the sky. Oh no, oh, and I made it. Okay. Don't do it over. What happens if you do them over? They're 10 times thicker because you can't land on the same place twice. You'll ruin it, right? So you just however grass comes out is how it comes out. Ignore. Okay, and then maybe one is, let's put one right next to her and she goes parallel until she crosses over. That's a good trick. So I'm be on in between them and then go up and then right about halfway. Oh, hey. Crossed over, they touched. But then I want to be leaning because of the wind. So my next one will be like 2 fingers over and shorter. And I'm just going to make it to the dark green. Oh, okay, that's all. And then about 2 fingers apart, just a little tiny baby one. Oh, hello. Oh, she's pretty straight. Whatever. Maybe I could put one more that just kind of leans. Okay, they have a best friend. And then maybe this one feels like it's too tall because this one got small. Maybe a little baby friend for her over here. And maybe she leans over a lot because she fell over. Right? So I land in the shadow. I fell over. There. Okay, now I'm going to make some short little baby ones, right? And they don't get any higher than turquoise. But where are they the tallest? In the middle. Where are they the shortest? On the sides. And I don't need very many of them. So maybe I'll just put like 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I almost made 3 straight ones in a row. Luckily the second one was more bendy. Oh, look what I'm doing. They're evenly spaced, starting to become evenly spaced apart, like letters and numbers. Done. So let me try some smaller ones. I'm little. I'm a baby one. Baby, itty, bitty, bitty. I'm a, and then bitty, bitty, tiny, tiny, tiny. Oh, those are done. Flick, up, up. Pulling on my paintbrush. Pull. Well, let me show you why you can't. Right, because I pull up and I'm going to fix it and pull. I get it nice and pointy at the top and I'm going to fix it and pull back down. Smash. You can only pull up, right? And then how about the little sand? She goes in front, right? So that's her. She actually goes across falling. She's in front a little bit. Remember how there's a little baby one? And she falls, she comes to a tiny, 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 tiny point. Like that. Oh, I did them fast. Same size, evenly spaced apart. Let me have some of them touch a little bit so I can ruin that pattern. Human business. Okay. Oh, look at those. There's 3 little. Let me ruin it there. Ruin them a little. Okay, now I clean my paintbrush from the dark green, and let's put light green on top. And when I land my light green on my dark brown, they're probably going to make a new color, but it's none of my business. I'll show you. We let them streak and make a new color. And you thought it was pretty, but look how ugly it ends up. But they're pieces of grass, so who cares, right? And I just streak the green on the brown. Sometimes it turns brown if it's really thick, and sometimes it turns light green if there's a lot of green on there. So upside down paintbrush, I stab my light green, not dark green, and let's just do it on the first one. I'm just gonna, what if I miss? I'm trying to pull, but you know I might miss. I'll make a new piece of grass that jumps out. I don't know. You just go land and pull and don't let go and don't let go and keep driving and let go in there. Oh, I made a streak of green near on the brown floating on top. And I give it permission to do that. Let's do it to all of them. Can I pull back down? No. It'll just go thick. I can only pull up with the upside down paintbrush. So I get the green. Let me try again. Pull. Thick. More green. I land on the blob of brown on the bottom and pull. Oh, this one had white in it. Pretty. And then upside down paintbrush. Whoa, that one got too thick. I was being wild. Ooh, slow down. More paint. Upside down paintbrush. And the brown will peek out from underneath. And I'm doing it so soft, I can't even feel it. I'm just pulling. I'm watching it happen, but I don't get hardly any feedback from my hand. I'm doing it so soft, 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 soft. Whoops. I started pulling down and then it got fat. Well, that's dark and medium. We need some light. We're going to use the caramel color to make light. I want more grasses. What do you think? More grasses in between. Whoop, whoop. And I'm pulling up, pull up. Oh, ran out of paint. I can tell I ran out of paint because the tops get all dry and fuzzy. And let them bend over. And that one crossed over that one. And that one leaned. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Random. Whoop. There. Whoop, whoop. Land and pull, land and pull, land and pull. Great. And then I'm going to clean my paintbrush and push pause if I went too fast because I already know how to do this. Now I clean my paintbrush mostly for pointiness, and I want to put the little tops on the grass and their little dashes. Look how ratty they are. And you thought it looked good. I just all point down, 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 down. And as tiny as I can, I just get the brown, but I just get a little poke on the tip. And just like the waves, how they go from thick to thin, right? Running out of paint. I give it permission to be thick at first. Flick, flick, and then get smaller, 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 smaller. And then I get a speck of brown, and it's about a fingerprint big, and it's down. The first one's big and thick, right? Because there's lots of paint. And I go less, 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 less. Ooh, that had green in it. I'm not going to have to put green on that one. There was green, so it scratched it. And can they go the other way too? Yep. Long, 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 shorter, 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 tighter, tighter, speck. They're super long, then short, 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 tiny, tiny, like little toothbrushes. But only the mature ones who are making seeds, the tall ones, they are the only ones that get some. Okay? The itty bitty baby ones, they don't have enough oomph to make one of these. So just the mature ones, they're seed pods. And then I have too much brown on them, so let me just scratch some light green. Oh, way too much globs of paint. Maybe I should get the green, poke the green, and kind of roll it on the inside of my cup. Woo, there, to make it a little bit pointier, because the glob was a big round glob on the end, like a little pearl. So I just kind of rolled it on the side and made a point there. She's green, but I made her pointy again. And go long, short, 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 short. Scratch it into the dark. Put the green and scratch it. Microscopic speck of green. Scratch, 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 scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. And now what about, that's not 3D, that's 2D, green and brown. I don't love it. So what's missing? Caramel color ones, right? So the caramel color ones are dancing, they're on top and inside the dark brown, and the green ones, and I don't even have to clean my paintbrush because green and gold, or green and this caramel color, will be really pretty. So, and am I making new grass or decorating one of the green ones? Either. So if they're, they're in front. Woo! Oh, more caramel. We flip. Oh, up, up. My hands on a elevator. Up, up. Lean to the right. Lean to the left. Ooh, oh, that's not enough paint. Look at, it's a little dry. Do it slower. I was flicking. Slower. Oh, look at what I did. Human. 2 fingers apart, 2 fingers apart, 2 fingers apart, 2 fingers. My brain wants a pattern. Nature doesn't do that. So, because they don't practice the alphabet in nature. They just go long, short, short, long, long, short, short, long, 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 short. Woo. Woo. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's all dry. Maybe I'll streak some green on that because I made it so tall. There. That's a caramel green one. Nice. And then some caramel for these. Dash, dash. Maybe little sets of 3. Dash, 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 dash. Oh, I hit a blob of brown, which made another shadow. So, globs are shadows. Maybe one more. Maybe I'll just pretend like one's coming out. I don't know. Break up the pattern a little bit. Oh, look at, I just did that in caramel by itself. Look how boring she is. I'm going to get a speck. I'm going to clean my paintbrush for pointiness because when they get full of paint, they get round. So I'll just go like this. Pinch. So she gets all sharp and tiny and like a, oh, sharp and tiny. And then I'll put a tiny, tiny poke of the dark brown and streak it onto the caramel. Just to try to, it ran out. To try to give her some something, something, because she was all boring. There. Now she's 3D, because she's got more than one version of color. Great, good job. I know I went fast, but that's what your teacher wanted me to do, is to try to do it in 30 minutes. So we went over, that was 48 minutes. But I did the best I could. So you just push pause whenever you get lost. You re-watch it. If you would like to save your paintbrushes, this is a really good, the yellow one, a really good paintbrush. It's like $3. So if you want to clean it, you don't rub it on your hand and make her bristles stick out. You rinse and pull and rinse and pull. And then get a paper towel and squeeze it onto a paper towel. If any color comes out on the paper towel, you have to clean it more because the color is plastic, because acrylic means plastic, and it will make your paintbrush hard and unusable. Okay, and then you can put the lids on all your paints and decorate rocks or something and play with it with something else. Okay, good job, you guys did. Good job.